So in Hermann Hesse's Siddhartha, there's a beautiful line from the protagonist when he decides that he's in love with Kamala. He decides he is going to commit his life to money and being able to afford his courtesan crush. And so he goes off, he becomes a traveling salesman, and there's this beautiful line, which I'll get to immediately, which says, all his spiritual training led up to him being a great salesman. It gave him all these tools. For example, he never sweat when one of his business partners overcharged him. When one of his vendors, took a little extra off the top when he had to pay extra. Siddhartha just didn't care. He knew, you know what, I'm going to go into this business deal and I'm just going to stay cool. And it's been a life lesson for me, Whenever I go into a dentist or a mechanic or a job interview, I just keep calm, even in the face of uncertainty, because I bet on it costing more than what I think. Whether that's because I underestimated the quality and the cost, or because the other guy wants to make a little extra, I keep my cool. And this happened today. I get a call from the mechanic. Y'all who've been following know that our Beetle convertible top had an issue. I sent it to a mechanic. He gave me a quote, and it's been 8 days now, and a dozen calls later, and delay this, delay that, and this part doesn't fit, sorry, we screwed it in the wrong way, or this, and no sé qué. And I get a call from the owner saying that the car is ready, but the fifth retainer arm, one of those ribs, just keeps popping out every time they close the top. And they had to fashion some sort of double strap contraption. He explained it. I just blanked out. I was like, this is crazy. I know where this is going. And he said that the labor was going to cost more. It's going to cost $500 more. And I said, what would Siddhartha do? Keep his cool. And the gentleman and I spoke at length, got a really clear picture of what all this extra material and labor was. If I were going to trust him, it sounded very reasonable. And I do want to get my car back in one piece. So we worked out a deal. And so part of me feels content that I was able to score a clear understanding of the situation, a solid date for pickup, and this gentleman who supposedly did a quality job will get what he's worth. And Siddhartha would be very proud. So that's that. Hermann Hesse, Siddhartha, check it out. Second update is about how I thought I was going to pick up the car today, but it's going to be Friday. And so I had the whole day. What do? I write a freaking children's play. There's a nonprofit here in Houston called Vida es Cortos, and they have an annual festival for short films and short theater plays. And they put out a call for children's plays under 10-15 minutes, I think. And so just cracked some knuckles and vomited exorbitantly and ecstatically this story idea that's been in my head, occupying too much space. It's a sort of Latina Cinderella with a stepmom and a dozy dad. and then a little bit of magic saves the night at the strike of midnight, you know. So very happy with that. I'm going to work with the people I worked with last year to realize my novel for the stage, and I have a good feeling about this. It's going to be a good play. More details to come. Second plus one, the last update, number 3. Tomorrow I graduate. Ta-da! Yes. 3 years. And now I'm ready for my next 30 years. I'll wear one of those little hexagon hats that all doctorate people wear. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I mentioned this in a few vlogs, or I mentioned this a few vlogs ago, one of those two. I didn't invite anybody except my darling Mrs. Soulmate, second to none, Madame Fire of my fire wife. She has an important meeting tomorrow, and she's got to make the money, and I don't want to bother her. I didn't want to bother anybody, so I just didn't invite anybody. It'll just be me. And I gave all of my tickets to a colleague of mine, just like, you bring your family. And all I asked her for in return was to be part of her family photo. So that's gonna be cute. And that's about it, man. I am grateful that I've been keeping this thing alive. And I just had to check to make sure that I was recording, man, because I'm like kind of... Y'all already know it's getting near 8 o'clock, and the little guy is starting to rumble there in the living room. So, peace, au revoir.